Good afternoon, folks. Finally, IPL में double header. We are finally here, folks. This is the first double header of IPL 2021. The first game in the cauldron of Chennai. It's the Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Royal Challengers Bangalore, they will be very, very happy indeed. They are so far the only team to have won 2 out of their first 2 games. Kolkata Knight Riders, on the other hand, won their first game by 10 runs. But such was the baggage of history, such was the mental block that they had against Mumbai Indians. Like they felt if we won, the entire course of history would be altered. That is why, according to the script, according to the trends, they lost. So, in the favor of Kolkata Knight Riders, the universe is safe, everything is good. It's 22-6. Normalcy restored. Kolkata Knight Riders will also be facing off against Royal Challengers Bangalore, a team that has hurt them very badly in the past. In IPL 2020 in particular, it represented the low point for KKR. The first match which they played in Sharjah, they were undone by a masterclass from Mr. 360, A.B. de Villiers. His 6 sixes had absolutely set Sharjah on fire, and Kolkata Knight Riders never recovered. In the second game, when you thought things couldn't go from bad to worse, it sunk even deeper. Kolkata Knight Riders were restricted to 84 for 8. Mohammad Siraj, history maker folks, 2 maidens. And you see where Mohammad Siraj is now. It all began on that day in the IPL 2020. I am Siddharth Vishwanathan and I am joined by Arnab Mukherjee, and we are here to preview Game 1. Royal Challengers Bengaluru, Namma Bengaluru. E Sala Kab Namde might be really happening this time. Kolkata Knight Riders still reeling from the nightmare that they had against Mumbai Indians. Arnav, KKR, what do you make of it? They lose 31. They lose with the equation 31 of 30 balls. They choke. There can be no other way to describe it. They choked. Against RCB, they have lost 2 games in the previous IPL. They head into this match low on confidence. RCB have won 2 games. On paper, who is the strongest team heading into this contest mentally and with resources? Who is the strongest?
I think on paper, both of them are well matched because we have got some strong performers out there. But KKR, like you mentioned, 31 of 30, there is no possible explanation that anyone can give for that choke out there. They were well set to make it 2 out of 2. Having recorded a good performance against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. When you have got something like a 21-6 head-to-head record against the Mumbai Indians, and you can make it 21-7, then 31 of 30, that's an equation which is quite easy for any team, I would say. Considering you have got Karthik and Russell out there, these players, they can change the game in any scenario out there. But it's certainly going to be an unsolved mystery how they managed to mess it up from that scenario. And like you mentioned, RCB as well. RCB are looking really confident out there. They look quite mature because if you see their previous performances at the Chepauk, they were not really very good. So if you see the manner in which they made the comeback against Sunrisers Hyderabad in the death overs and managed to eke out a win, so that's an indication of how far they have come as a franchise. And I would like to specially mention the performances of Harshal Patel, because Harshal Patel, he's been quite underrated, and I would really be happy if he could get a spot in the T20 team in the upcoming World Cup, because he's a very good dead bowler. He's inch perfect with his Yorkers, plus he's a very handy option down the order. So if he can maintain his performances, I would love to see him being in contention for the Indian team. Like in the past, we have seen Rahul Tewatia. Even he got a chance in the Indian team, Indian T20 side, on the basis of his heroics for Rajasthan Royals in the 2020 edition. So why not somebody like Harshal Patel?
Of course, Harshal Patel has been one of the stalwarts in the Indian domestic circuit. Let us not forget that. When Haryana were almost about to go for glory in 2012, he played a very vital part in their fortunes, Harshal Patel, with 5-wicket hauls in the quarterfinal and in the semi-final. But ultimately, that proved to be in vain as they lost to Rajasthan, the eventual winners. But Harshal Patel, that 5-wicket haul against Mumbai Indians, I think it has put him on a different pedestal when it comes to confidence. And his bowling, combined with the likes of Yajuvendra Chahal, and the RCB bowling lineup that has somehow been boosted by the presence of Kyle Jamieson. I thought Jamieson would struggle, but he has put himself in a very good stead in the first two games. He was pretty good. He has chipped in with the wickets. He's kept the runs to the bare minimum. I mean, he went for over 6.5 runs in the previous game, but that is no shame. That is a brilliant performance, as a matter of fact. For Indian conditions, Jamieson is really stepping up. But I think it's the batting. Again, RCB always had a great batting. But Arnab, do you think with the addition of Maxwell, their batting has reached a depth that was not seen in previous editions?
Yeah, certainly. I think Maxwell and RCB, they are a love story that was not explored as of now. So if you see the manner in which Maxwell performed in the previous game against SRH, he scored his first half century since the 2016 edition. And if you compare his performances to the previous edition 2020, he did not score a single six for Kings XI Punjab, now known as Punjab Kings. So Maxwell certainly seems very happy out there. He looks comfortable in the role which is provided to him, and he's certainly ready to take on the initiative and the leadership even when the others are struggling. Of course, you have got somebody like Dan Christian who's still not stepped up, but Maxwell's performances early on, it's a really good thing, and it's a very good sign for RCB out there. Maxwell has certainly been a very welcome addition to the team, and like you rightly mentioned, the depth has certainly visible out there. They look like a very powerful batting department out there. You have got Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, Glenn Maxwell, David Patikal. I hope he starts firing soon. Dan Christian. So these guys, if they perform in unison, have got a very strong department out there.
And we are also missing out two other domestic stalwarts in Shahbaz Ahmed and Rajat Patidar. Shahbaz Ahmed was one of the stars for Bengal in the Ranji Trophy, and he showed his worth against Sunrisers Hyderabad. Had he not taken those 3 wickets, Shahbaz Ahmed in that 1 over, SRH should have coasted towards the victory. But again, they have got people now who can chip in. That was something which was missing in previous RCB campaigns. They've got people who can chip in if others fail. But KKR, again, they look so good on paper. But when it comes to execution, they fall flat. Nitish Rana, who was so good, but in a rush of blood, he lost his wicket. And that was when the collapse began against Mumbai Indians. They have Shakib, who can shore up the lower middle order. They've got DK, they've got Andre Russell. These 3 guys are a very enviable lower middle order. But as you saw against Mumbai Indians, big names don't matter if you do not get the team over the finish line. Is Andre Russell now slowly fading away, do you think, Arnab, considering that in 2019 he struggled, a combination of injuries also, but even in 2020, first 2 games, it's been very mixed for Andre Russell with the bat and with the ball. With the ball, he took 5 wickets. Do you think Andre Russell is on the wane when it comes to finishing for KKR?
I feel Russell is facing the same issue which Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar have had to face. That is the weight of expectations on the basis of incredible performances. Because Russell, he has garnered this reputation of being a game changer from the first ball. Like, there's this very famous saying with regard to Tyrone Henderson, the former Rajasthan Royals player. He would take 1 ball to get his left eye in. He would take 1 ball to get his right eye in. And from the 3rd delivery, he would start smacking the sixes. So the same is expected from Russell now, and he's also, sent out in a moderately that kind of a scenario. So I feel that Russell is taking a lot of pressure on himself. He feels that if he wastes a few deliveries in getting set on the pitch, then he's costing his team, because he's a pure team player out there. Like you mentioned, he picked 5 wickets in the previous game against MI, and he was actually hobbling on one leg when he was bowling his last few deliveries. So he would continue till the very end. He would give us 100%. But I feel he should also think about himself for a couple of seconds, take a few balls, get set on the pitch, and there is a lot of time out there to go out and fire. Like Harsha Bhogle said, it's a very famous quote from him on T20 cricket. There's always more time than we expect in a game of T20 cricket. There is no shame in taking a few extra balls, getting used, if you can go out and, get a masterpiece of an innings out there against a strong opposition.
I think somewhere down the line, Andre Russell is struggling to get that starting gear. Normally in previous campaigns, be it 2018 or 19, Russell has always found the starting gear in the right way. He would take 1, 2, 3 deliveries and then explode. And then when he explodes, it's like a nuclear bomb. It just decimates everything in its path. But the top order, Rahul Tripathi, you have Nitish Rana, who are finally batting well. But again, Nitish Rana, as we have seen, as the tournament progresses, his returns dip. So it starts from this point in time. If Nitish Rana does not maintain consistency, it begins from this point in time. So KKR have to be very, very vigilant about this. Will there be any captaincy questions on Eoin Morgan? Considering that they lost from such a situation, do you blame it on Morgan's captaincy, or do you see that, oh, it was just a case of total mental disintegration for Kolkata Knight Riders batsmen?
I think it was a case of, a total mental collapse on the part of some match winners out there, like Dinesh Karthik, even Andrew Russell, Shakib Al Hasan. These guys should have taken up the initiative and got the job done. Because if you see somebody like Shakib Al Hasan, he's been a solid performer in World Cups. That is the highest pressure, I believe, for a cricketer out there. For Bangladesh in 2019 World Cup, he was a solid performer. So one would certainly expect him to go out and get a paltry total like 31 of 30 sorted out. Because when I was interacting with Tyrone Henderson recently, he discussed this game and he said that even at the age of 47, 48, I would back myself to go out and get the job done. So this is an indication of how easy it was to chase down this total and how they messed up in a very abysmal manner, I would say.
Well, Kolkata Knight Riders need to sign up Tyrone Henderson as ASAP if he can get the job done and if he can get the team over the line. But RCB, I mean, very few chinks in the armor right now currently, isn't it? Their bowling looks sorted, their batting looks sorted, especially the middle order with the likes of AB de Villiers and Glenn Maxwell in that team. I mean, if AB de Villiers fails, then Maxwell succeeds. If Maxwell fails, then AB de Villiers succeeds. So, I think they have found the right combination, isn't it, in the middle order? With Virat Kohli opening, it leaves so much freedom for the middle order to experiment and do how they want to progress in innings, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Maxwell's inclusion, it's a very massive boost, I would say, because earlier you would see there was this reliance on AB de Villiers to go out and get the job done. You could see a certain bit of it in the first game as well. But now Maxwell, now that he's come and joined the party, this is a very good sign for the RCB batting department and the overall team, because now they have got some players who can chip in, who have got proper experience, and who are well capable of going out and making the crucial difference. So it's a very enviable position for any team to be in.
Okay, now we come to the team compositions. Arnab, do you see Kuldeep Yadav play? Especially considering that it's Chepauk and he's a left armour, can be AB de Villiers' bogey. He's a leg spinner, can also be Maxwell's bogey. But do you see Kuldeep Yadav play?
Yeah, certainly. I feel that he could make an appearance. But then there are a lot of questions about how the KKR team management want to go about unleashing him on the opposition. Because today, if for some reason he gets smacked for runs and his confidence takes a dip, then that will be an area of concern. Because in the past also, when he was smacked for runs, he was affected mentally and it left him shattered in a very bad scenario, emotionally and mentally. So you have to be very, very careful with a player like him. You have to ensure that he's, unleashed on the opposition in a very safe manner, and you have to take the conditions into account. You have to see how you want to go about slotting his presence in the lineup.
So yes, I think we may see more bio-bubble heartbreak for Kuldeep Yadav. I mean, as I mentioned in previous conversations, from September till now, he's been part of 4 bio-bubbles and he's only played 2 games. That is the life of Kuldeep Yadav, folks. Very, very problematic indeed. Now, do you see changes being made for RCB or they will stick with the same team?
I would see them sticking with the same winning combination unless there is an injury. Maybe in the future, with Daniel Sams coming back, having tested negative for COVID, he might make an appearance in case Dan Christian continues to struggle. But then I don't see any changes for this team at least.
Okay, coming to the final question now, who do you think will win? RCB or KKR?
I think it will all come down to the toss, because the team which goes out and opts to bat, if they are able to post a solid total out there, then as you know, there are a lot of demons out there when it comes to the death overs. It's very difficult to chase down a certain total, like close to 150 or something. So I would go with the team winning the toss. That will play a massive impact in determining the overall result of the game.
So yes, my vote would be to RCB because yes, AB de Villiers, he was the only one who helped them get over the line. They chased down a total successfully. In other instances, no team has chased successfully in Chepauk so far. Kolkata Knight Riders botched it. Sunrisers Hyderabad botched it twice. Now, whether the team batting second in this game succeeds, because remember, it's a day game. The day game dynamics might be slightly different than the ones in the day-night situation. Maybe there'll be more spin, maybe there'll be more sluggishness. So who knows, batting second might prove to be a bit more difficult. But my vote would go for RCB. Royal Challengers Bangalore looks stronger, have depth in both batting and bowling. And boss, they have the mojo over KKR. Sorry KKR Riders folks, so sorry. The loss against Mumbai Indians is really going to hurt. It will take a long time for you to recover. But if you do recover, it'll be great. That is all we have from Game 1 of the IPL doubleheader between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Kolkata Knight Riders. Stay tuned to the Sports Lumo for Game 2 between Delhi Capitals and Punjab Kings. Thank you. I am Siddharth Vishwanathan along with Arnab Mukherjee, and please stay safe, folks. Bye-bye.